All right. Well, the other big event, right, that is expected to take place is Elon Musk's India visit. Everyone's watching out for that. There is a slowdown in electric car sales across the globe. So what is the global EV picture looking like? Prashant, you've churned out some data for us.
I don't think there's any doubt, Sonia, that Elon Musk is probably the most famous CEO alive in the world, right? By far, right? Yeah. And of course, with that profile on X.
Maybe the most notorious also.
Let me go across to the big wall and tell you what Mr. Musk is going to be here, right? He's coming to India on Sunday, and he's expected to meet the Prime Minister on Monday. That's essentially the schedule. He'll go to Delhi, and that's a two-day India visit that we are kind of looking forward to. Now, this is all happening amid a global EV slowdown. Now, we're talking about EV adoption, ICE, which is internal combustion engine, that market shrinking, and electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles taking that market share. But it looks like, that trend has stalled a little bit. But first, let me just, before I get into that, let me just quickly tell you what the big excitement is about, right? Number one, Tesla's potential, once it kind of decides to, say, set up a factory in a particular geography, the potential to attract high-tech, high-paying manufacturing jobs, I think that attraction from Tesla is unparalleled. That's number one. Supply of battery metals at the highest scale and the lowest cost. I think it's now well understood that outside of Chinese companies, no one really comes close to Tesla in this regard. And this is what you need to bring down battery costs, to bring down the total unit cost of electric vehicles, because affordability is an issue if you want a wider and faster penetration. And of course, improvements in manufacturing cost and vehicle design. And of course, cost control can be more easily implemented in a greenfield capacity. I think many have said that for Tesla, the most efficient factory is going to be, quote unquote, the next one. So a lot of excitement around this particular visit. Now, let's just get to what is happening in the electric vehicle market globally. And, without going into too many details, I'll get to numbers in a bit, but Europe, battery electric vehicles are currently losing share to ICE segment, which is combustion engines. In the US, the share of BEVs, which is battery electric vehicles, has been under 8% over the last 6 months. It's kind of stagnated. And of course, China, which is by far the largest market for EVs, it's showing signs of kind of saturation. Now, let me just having said this, put the numbers up, which will show you what I'm talking about. Look at the trend, 2022, 2023, and this is the expected number in 2024. For the US, 6%, 8% is where we are, expected to go up to 9%. Europe, 16%, kind of stagnating. China, of course, is far ahead in terms of adoption. 25% is electric vehicle share there. India, about 1.5% to about 2% where it is expected to go. In India, of course, two-wheeler EVs have done much better as compared to passenger vehicles so far. And of course, this is South Korea out there as well. Again, so I mean, these numbers very clearly show you that it looks like things are stalling a little bit, maybe for the time being, it may be near term, but that's where we're at. And these are some of the key reasons why this may be so. Competition from hybrids, lower incentives in many cases. I mean, we spoke about that here in India, with those subsidies going away earlier. Infrastructure, which is, charging stations, etc. Affordability, repairability, depreciation. I could go on, but these are, a set of factors which perhaps are leading to this. China is clearly the other factor in a way. It's recognized as the clear low-cost leader in terms of EV production. There is no real doubt about that. And Western car companies are now realizing that mass EV adoption and China are very closely linked. You can't have, a high-tech Western EV produced at mass scale without support from Chinese companies in terms of battery tech, and battery material, etc. as well. And what is the hindrance? Strict trade barriers on China, which means lower EV adoption in the West, right? And it's an election year in the US, and it's unlikely that some of these restrictions, etc., will go away. What are we looking at? I mean, I found this interesting. ICE may be nice. I mean, ICE, of course, internal combustion engine. The goal, state of California, for example, very famously declared that they want to ban the sale of ICE vehicles by 2035. What is the reality? Just about a week and a half ago, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency in the US, which regulates emission standards, has given more time and a slower required adoption curve for electric vehicles. So they're giving more time, which means that the runway for the legacy old ICE segment is longer here. This is what the market has done for some of the leading electric vehicle companies around the world. This is, I've taken price change from the highs. Look at Tesla, look at other companies, US companies like Lucid Motors, but look at other Chinese makers as well. Li Auto, NIO, I mean, massive, right, correction, the fall that we've seen. And Tesla itself, some 65% off the highs. And just look at another interesting sort of number. Tesla this year, just 2024, has lost 40% in terms of value, Tesla shares. Toyota, which perhaps is like, you know, the other end with its ICE vehicles, etc., has gained 36% share. It kind of tells you which way the wind is blowing right now. So that's the state of the EV market right now. But as I said, I mean, it could be near term. There is no real, nobody really disbelieves the fact that we need to go electric over a period of time. But the adoption, which was thought to be very near term, it will happen very quickly, that perhaps is taking longer than what is expected. This is, of course, on the agenda. As I already said, Mr. Musk is going to be here. He's going to be meeting the Prime Minister, PM Modi. Him and his team will meet government officials, industry representatives, and he's likely to announce an investment plan of between $2 and $3 billion in India. Company to not only manufacture cars for India, but also export them to global markets. And of course, we'll expect to hear something on Starlink, his telecom venture, and what he plans to do with it here in India as well. Back to you guys.